nice and runny. That should be fine for what I want to do. I haven't used this airbrush for 2 years and I managed to fix it today and my other one's not working. What I'll do is I'll do some speed black basing, so instead of going really meticulous. Okay, now I'm going to drop the pressure down.
So you look at the pressure when it's at rest, not when it's going.
No, whilst it's going is you.
It always changes, doesn't it? But it doesn't mind, does it?
Has that compressor got a tank built in?
Yeah, this is a tank one. It's a Sparmax something or other. One thing I have found is it fills up with rust pretty quickly, which is I suppose cheap steel or humid environment. We've only got 3 windows in the house. Okay, so I'll do a little bit of black basing, but I won't go too mad with it. So with this technique, you're building up different areas of interest by doing the exact thing we wanted to avoid last time, which is that colouring in effect. So you're drawing little squiggles, and around details like rivets or certain panel lines, you want to leave some of that black showing through. So in a way we're creating a forced or artificial shadow just to promote a bit more interest in the finish. Because you know, you've got, when you see an AFB, it's never, unless it's just come out or it's on the parade ground in Pyongyang, it's not just one shade. What it is, you know what I mean? It's got variations to it from, you know, different atmospheric effects, different dusts, or you could just say, I like to do it like this. Which is, you know, this technique is a little bit time consuming, and usually I'd do it a little bit more refined than what I'm doing now. I'd spend a bit more time and get a bit closer. You can see that marbling effect start to build up. You can see around those rivets where it's still dark. That's where those points of interest are going to be.
As a rule of thumb, how would you describe the ideal thinness of paint, sort of consistency wise?
Mess around until it sprays right.
Okay. Milk.
See, I don't subscribe to it because some need to be thinner, and some need to be thicker.
Depends on the colour as well.
Yeah, completely on the colour. So white is going to be. You had your chance.
No, I didn't have any chance because I wasn't ready for you. Bloody cheat.
Well, I'll do this camouflage and I'll show you how to do priming. When you're spraying a camouflage pattern, of course this is going to overwrite this shading stuff. You know, it works really well for a single scheme, but when you're doing a camo over the top, it might not work as well unless you literally segment each section of what you're doing. When you're spraying a camo, you've got your section that you want. It's best to spray into it. So if you draw your shape, so what you might do is just go from the top and draw your line. Use very little aperture on the needle, trigger, until the paint, and then that happens. It happens all the time. There's a nasty little blob. I'm going to turn my pressure down. That's a good start, isn't it? Yeah. But like I said, I haven't used this airbrush for anything fine for especially me type of steam as well. So if you're doing a nice tight camouflage pattern, if you spray into the area you want to paint, I don't know why I'm doing zigzags, but that's what I'm doing. You spray nice and close and into the pattern, you'll get crisper lines. I mean, it looks a bit scatty there because you go over it a few times. So you want to draw your shape out. Sometimes you'll need to blast your airbrush on a spare bit just to get it going. Okay, that was a bit much there. The closer you go, the tighter those lines are going to be. And then you can just go in and fill it in afterwards. But you still got to stay close because colouring in. One problem you'll find, as you can probably see with doing something like this, is that if your paint isn't, it's quite thin, you're going to have to build up that opacity a little bit. You know, it's you know, I'm starting to think that I might need an optimizer lately. If you keep reinforcing those lines, you'll get really sharp